Ah, hello, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to you all. I wonder how everyone is doing this fine Mother's Day, during which it happened to snow. Yeah, that's where we are. It's actually interesting because 7 more days until my brother's birthday, and on that day, roughly like 19 years ago, um, it hailed. There was a hailstorm, ruined my dad's car while it was that my dad and my mother were in the process of, well, my mother mostly, were in the process of birthing my little brother. Oh, yeah. And I was home hanging out with my uncle, just chilling, waiting for the parents to come back while there's a hailstorm. My brother's being born. Fun stuff. Good times. Good times to be had. I'm not gonna lie. So, how is everybody, honestly? How are we doing? Is quarantine treating you? Me hopes. I'm trying to get the chats open because I didn't have them open before it is that I sat down to start the stream. Mainly because we had Mother's Day plans right up until about 6 minutes ago. So, yeah, that's been my day basically. It's going from house to house, celebrating Mother's Day for different mothers within my existence at this point. My video is jerky. There's not a lot that I can really do about that, except maybe adjust bandwidth. I can try. Let's see. Let's go standard definition. Does that help? Maybe? Hopefully? Is it still jerky, guys? Just let me know. Ooh, I don't know why it does that. I just put it in standard definition instead of high definition. Pick is fine here. Seems fine this way. It's better this way? Okay. Yeah, you know what is interesting is... Here, let me adjust this. Also, I'm having a bitchin' of a time also uploading the video for this week. It's improved somewhat. No, it's not still snowing. Thank God. But I'm having a bitchin' of a time. Which I know some people think to mean a good time, but no, it's a bad time uploading this week's video. I was supposed to have it uploaded this morning for members and patrons because, you know, they typically get things a day early, but for whatever reason, it's not uploading. Like, we've already had one failed upload, and it took most of the day up until like 5 p.m. today to get it to that point. And so now I'm trying it again, seeing where it's at. It is at 20% uploaded. Loki, if it's not uploaded by the end of this stream, I'm just gonna scrap it. Well, not scrap it, but I'm gonna take it down and try it again. Maybe close out the browser. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that is exactly what is necessary to happen for everything to go back to normal, because it could just be the browser being giving me shit. I don't know. We'll see. In other news, last day of class was officially last week. I thought it was Friday, but officially the last day of classes on like the academic calendar for my school told us it was Thursday, and I didn't realize that until the day after, and that's when I made my post. So, yeah. You know what? Maybe I should just stop the upload, and I'll upload it after, and then see how the stream goes. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay. I'm adjusting it back to 720p just to see if that makes a difference. Bandwidth is a finite resource. You know, you're right. I could have I knew that. I know that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, last day of classes was this week. My last assignment that I have to turn in is my exam for neuroscience, and that's not due until Wednesday, and I got to get it done before Wednesday because I don't want to postpone it until then. And then after that, I'm done with school. Hi, Polly.
Hello.
How are we doing today?
All right. Just got home from my mom and my dad's for Mother's Day and all.
Did you wish your mom Happy Mother's Day?
No, I forgot.
Aww. How silly
kidding.
of you. I also took the opportunity to wish my mother a Happy Mother's Day, which is the first time I've done it in a few years.
Really?
Well, okay. Yeah, but it's less of a you're a bad child thing. After you realize that my mother and mine's relationship is rather rocky, so it's not uncharacteristic for me to deliberately do something petty like not wish her a Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day and instead make an entire video dedicated to wishing my father Happy Mother's Day on Mother's Day instead.
Damn!
Which I have done and which she was super pissed about. This was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Which
wow.
I get behind
okay,
it.
that's just Jesus.
I don't regret it because I do mean everything that it was that I said there. It's just I'm getting to a point in my life where I don't see a point in being petty anymore. And so I've decided to attempt to bridge some sort of relationship with my mother. Maybe not like in a mother-daughtery type thing, but you know, we could be acquaintances. It's fine.
Jesus Christ, Weebo.
Yeah. It's not all families are perfect.
But no, they're not.
Any family is really perfect. But yes, much shade, Lion Patriot. Much shade indeed. But yeah, I've in recent years I've come to the conclusion that people aren't going to be around forever, so it's kind of silly to waste the time that you have with them being super pissy with them, especially if they're people that you have no choice but to have a relationship with. That was a growing moment for me. It took a while, but I got there.
It was a growing moment when I got to the point where I realized making Happy Mother's Day videos for my father in spite of my mother was not maybe the best expenditure of my time.
You know what? It was, actually. I don't regret that video at all. I think that it was absolutely necessary because it did send a message to my mother. She is attempting to be a better mother to my younger sister, who, she still has a chance at mothering. But I also felt like it was necessary to show my dad appreciation for all that he did, because he did do an awful lot in that respect. He was both a mother and a father for a good portion of my later years, the crucial ones that are important for a person's development that involve puberty and whatnot. So I turned out just fine despite not having both parents around for many years. And that's attributable a lot, I think, to my dad. Race Jacobson, do you have the option to not be around her? That's what he asks in the chat. And I do. I don't see my mother very often. Certainly not as often as normal people see their moms. Certainly not as often as my dad sees his mom. And that's a thing. Part of that is because I was away at college for so long. Part of that is because she doesn't drive anymore. And part of that is because right now I actually don't have a car. So it's a threefold issue. But I am making plans to see her at some point later this week. So there's that. And did my dad take me bra shopping? Asked Race. No, actually. He just kind of gave me money and was like, all right, off with you, child. Do what you will.
That's what I do.
You need to. Yeah. Well, because I mean, it's not like he's going to give me any good advice. The first time I actually ever went bra shopping, this is gonna sound sad, but I went with my grandmother, because up until then I'd been using hand-me-down bras, like training bras, and then I graduated to an actual woman bra, and they were my mother's bras that she gave me. Because for a time there, it was just easier for her to have us share clothes rather than her buy me new stuff. Because, you know, that's obviously the cheaper option. If I can fit in her clothes, why bother buying your daughter any more clothes? Which sounds a little messed up. And it is, definitely. But it is what it is. What happened to the cop car, asked Daniel Fulman. My brother took it with him back to school. He left Friday afternoon to go back to school because he's taking summer classes and living with his girlfriend. So that's going to be interesting. See how that turns out. Yeah. Race Jacobson. Did my dad... Weebo would likely sabotage you with bad advice to turn off the high school boys. Dad didn't give me any advice on dating in any capacity. Those were not conversations we had. Most of the conversations that were had in my adolescence with my dad revolved around grades, my academic achievements, what I was doing with my free time, my plans for the day-to-day, and if I was hanging out with any of my friends. Wow, I'm divulging so much about my childhood today. Polly, who do you feel closer to of your two parents, do you think? Like, are you a mama's boy or are you, like, not? I don't know what the alternate would be for that. Mama's boy versus, like, dad bro thing. I don't know.
Dad bro.
Dad bro. I don't know. Like, or were you a miniature of your father? I guess. I don't know.
I'm not sure. We'll have to go ask them. And I was just there too,
Yeah.
so it's kind of inconvenient that I'm thinking to ask now.
Probably.
And they live a while away.
You know, everyone thought you were going to be like super mega late, but you're actually pretty on time. Like, considering.
Yeah, I planned my departure time fairly well, within a few moments of being on. Yeah.
Good boy. Good boy.
Excuse me.
Holly's dying of the coof.
Yes.
Evolved Potato. Weebo, are you implying that you're going to be an aunt? You know, that hadn't yet crossed my mind, but I'm pretty sure it had crossed my dad's mind. I don't think so. Maybe, potentially. No, I don't think that's going to happen. He's not that stupid. I hope. Oh, God, I hope he's not that stupid.
So how was the time at the Weebo family farm? What have you?
It was good. Dad's girlfriend's daughter came over with her kids, and we hung out. And then her kids are really young. There's one under a year old, and then there's another one who's like 3 years old. And you know, kids at that age, adorable, but high energy in all of the ways, not just the fun ways, but all of the ways. We had pizza, and we had this chocolate pie that was paleo, which was actually decent. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I
can't remember whether we talked about this last week or not. I drink and sleep poorly and take pills.
Well, it wasn't Mother's Day last weekend, Polly, so obviously we didn't talk about
no, not the Mother's Day thing.
The paleo conversation?
Well, no, the paleo conversation reminded me of this video series that your dad's girlfriend is subjecting your father to, that I subsequently went and watched a number of episodes of.
Oh yes, I showed it to you, but we never actually discussed the conspiracy theory series. And it wasn't that she was subjecting it to them. It was a friend of theirs sent it to them and they were watching it together.
Either way, I mean, okay, fine, fair enough. But I mean,
Yeah.
Chad, if you don't like, this is pure QAnon. I didn't think it was QAnon stuff. I thought it was just garden variety conspiracy theory. But holy shit, the introduction to the first episode, it went the full gamut, man. It was, oh,
Yeah.
shit. International Monetary Fund, lizards in the Vatican, lizard people in the Vatican, the royal family, the Bilderberg group, 9/11, because, yeah.
It went down the bullet point list of conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. Just all of them in the same span of like 10 minutes were touched on to introduce you to the rest of the series, the documentary conspiracy series.
It's something, man. It was really something. Far and I watched like the first 3 episodes, and we're like, oh god, let's go watch some serial killer documentaries and kind of lighten up a little bit. And we did. It was
See, I couldn't make it past the middle of the second episode. I was just like, oh god, I cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with this. It was getting to an autistic point of crazy. Like, I like me some crazy, but that oversaturated it for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vol Potato's asking like, what is it? It sounds like fun. I don't get me wrong. I love some conspiracy. I'm gonna look it up for you right now, man.
What did I sent it to you, and I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I'm just going into my background folder here, and I'll find it.
Cabal.
That's right. Fall Cabal.
Yeah.
FAL.
Like
new words. CABAL.
Here you go. Link it in the description. Go watch it after the stream if you want.
The English woman, the narrator, is she's like, there's an organization of power elites that are running the world and deciding the unfolding of world history as we know it, called the Illuminati or the Cabal. And it's like, oh my god, it's so lazy.
I just could not. Because, like, okay, so I get what the point of that first episode was intended to do. It's intended to draw an audience in with all of these seemingly disconnected things, and then draw a connection between each of them. I'm assuming, because I haven't watched the whole thing. I just couldn't. And then connect everything that they just brought up in that initial episode to everything else within that initial episode, and just like blow your absolute mind with all of these conspiracy connections and whatnot. But it was overdone. The intro was too long. I started getting bored.
Mm-hmm.
I was frustrated. I was like, all right, get to the freaking point. Start connecting this shit. I could not. It was, have you ever seen Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
That one episode. It's a meme where the guy he's got like this huge detective board, like with, pictures everywhere, and they're all connected by red strings, and he's talking to this guy, and he's like, the conspiracy theory dude. Have you seen it? The conspiracy theory meme? All right, hang on. Furious typing.
I'm aware of the conspiracy nut or overly obsessed investigator with a bunch of pictures and newspaper clippings on a wall, connecting them all by string or lines on a chalkboard, what have you, to X is connected to Y is connected to Z. Yeah, I get the sense of it. Coach Red Pill had one. X is connected to Y is connected because Sargon knew, and it all, like, the network and of involvement all comes back to the soy father.
It's basically this guy, this meme right here. You see it?
Huh.
On the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what it was for me. The whole time. I could not. And I'm one of those people that probably would enjoy maybe a conspiracy theory or two. Maybe. But also it would piss me off a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know. You know, it's actually funny because I was listening to. Okay, we're about to delve into internet drama, probably. So if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. But it's frustrating because there was some stuff going on with the sphere of the web that involves like Nick Rekieta, Dick Masterson, PPP, Ralph, whatever. And I only know about it because I was watching Medicre's archive channel, and he'd re-uploaded a stream that he was on with this guy named Leo and PPP, the People Populist Press or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was absolute ass cancer because the whole stream was PPP and Leo trying to convince Medicare to like cover this conspiracy of disconnected. We think something shady is going on here that involved Ralph, Toad McKinley, Dick Masterson, Nick Rekieta, potentially Medicare, and maybe Dame Pesos, I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it went on for entirely too long. Like, I get it. You make your point, and then you completely circle back to that point about 8 or 9 times, each time asking Medicare the same question after he's just already answered the same question. And it was all based off of this stream that was hosted by Nick Rekieta with PPP and Dick Masterson, the absolute ass cancer stream. I listened to like half of it today, and it was absolute cancer. And I keep saying that, but it absolutely was. The guy keeps making this argument for conspiracy theory of, well, Dick Masterson has access through his alternate Patreon website or something to everyone's SSNs and or personal like information, stuff that you wouldn't want to get leaked out there to anyone who's a nefarious party. And he was connecting that to the malicious potential that he could abuse that power that he has over all of these personalities in the drama that was persisting, right? In the streaming community or whatever, in this community of anti-Patreon advocates or whatever. And he was saying that because Dick Masterson has all of this access and all of this pull with people, he is basically the godfather telling people what they can and can't talk about, what needs to be shunned versus what needs to be laughed at versus, you know, what needs to be just completely ignored and wiped under the table. And then he was also alleging that Ralph was sending his people, or at least flagging his streams. And the proof that he had was that his streams had been taken down, and they were the only ones that were talking about him and Gator, Ralph and Gator, or the fact that he'd got into a quote flagging war with JF at one point in the history of the internet. It was so much of what the dumpster fire surrounding like Andy Worski and all of them back in the day was. I don't know why I ever invested in this. And I don't know why I invested so much of my time in it now. But thinking back on everything that happened like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I genuinely don't know why it was that I listened to as many streams as I did involving all of the YouTube drama in the blood sports community. And the only explanation I can really come up with at this juncture is I just needed background noise for what it was that I was doing. That was the only reason. I just, it was there, it was on, it's long enough that I don't have to continuously scroll through other shit to get to other shit, and it's mindless that I don't actually have to pay attention to it and detract from what it is I'm doing in this section over here. And that's it. That's the only thing it's good for. White noise. And it's not even good white noise. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Thank you, Lion Patriot. I smelled many flowers today. I can still smell the fragrance on my mustache. I love springtime. Well, thank you, Lion Patriot. That's
I wish it was springtime here. It snowed today.
really? It's been rainy as hell here.
Well, it started out raining, and then it started coming down. Like, it started snowing. Big chunks of white fluff from the sky. What's that about? It's May. It's been May. It's not gonna be May. It is May. That's... I'm not happy about it.
Well, Dick Masterson doesn't have that kind of pull. And I don't even want to get in. I'm not going to start debunking something that's just patently bullshit. This is fuck off.
It's not even worth my time. It's not even worth your time.
When a conspiracy theory calls for more organization and discipline than one person in the room is capable of in terms of running their own life, your theory has a central operating flaw in it. Because it's calling for that level of discipline and organization amongst a number of people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like listening to Coach Cringe talk about the Sargon New conspiracy, and it's like, he did or he didn't. Who cares, you clout chasing creepy old Chilean weirdo? Wait, what is it? Mm-hmm. Who cares? Like, oh, he knew about this in advance. He didn't okay it. As a matter of fact, the recording you yourself played had him fucking saying, "Why are you wasting your time with this? Don't do anything about this." Well, they searched out my docs. Your docs? You meaning your name and your address that you put at the bottom of a whole bunch of your videos that were still up on your own channel? Someone just has to click on a fucking video and boom, there you are. That's not exactly like gumshoeing through the archives to hunt out connections to eventually attach it to your family to go bother them to find out pictures of you when you were a kid and get your school records and shit. I mean,
not a smoking gun.
No, it's not. But you know, Coach Cringe, it's like, oh, Sargon knew. What does it matter if he knew? Because he's the biggest person of them all, and you were clout chasing, and you really wanted to promote your channel, and then you've got Jim, who befriends this guy and hangs out with him. Why? Because you both have a shared dislike of Sargon. That's why. Because the man's not funny, he's not interesting, he doesn't have anything good to say, but that didn't stop you from going on his streams and inviting him on yours. So you platformed the hell out of this guy and gave him a notoriety and a profile way multiple orders of magnitude larger than what he was worth. Why? Because he connected this red string psychotic theory on how Sargon knew that somebody else was going to do something with your information that everybody had anyway. What do you Jesus? But anyway, I mean, they're like, what's the beef here? What are we going to get to something that's going to go, oh shit, I see, yeah. The big deal at the center was nothing, honestly. And like this one, I've heard bits and pieces of this. I just wanted to hear you add something more to it. And it's like Dick Masterson is involved and has this level of influence. And that's where the whole thing falls apart for me. It's like he simply just doesn't possess that level of influence. And like, you know, to his own credit, meaning Dick Masterson's got more important things to do with his time, like continuing to build his own brand after all the bullshit and stuff that he's gone through and dealt with. Largely people know of him because of his ongoing, technically still ongoing, but bullshit lawsuit that he had to deal with. There was the whole thing. I mean, it's big shocker. Nick Rekieta is involved with him. Yeah, he covers ongoing lawsuits. Nick Rekieta made a lot of hay out of that lawsuit, or the LOL suit, as he called it, because he wanted to build his channel. And this was a hilarious lawsuit where I can't believe that this guy actually sued you over something so small. And it wasn't about the suit. It was about how incredibly incompetent Homeboy's lawyer was. That just the ridiculous mistakes he was making in his filings, and Nick made a lot of comedic gold out of them. So now he's involved. I mean, that would be like Scooby finding fault with me because I stream with you and you were somehow streaming with some people that were involved and not getting him invited to a little girl's birthday party.
Polly, that's exactly what's happened. I'm surprised you haven't gotten a kick in the back door and your DMs riddled with threats yet. I mean, like, honestly, I expect it any day now. It's actually overdue. Okay, Polly, you were asking for sense and a modicum of some sort of, you know, thinking process from people whose existence on the internet entirely constitutes just the internet. Interacting on the internet, cloud chasing, and finding problems with other people that they don't actually know, just based off of a modicum of a sliver of a person's life that's been shared with everyone else on the internet.
Like
That's it.
I know this is going to sound dismissing, but it's not meant to be. This is meant to be a legitimate question I'm coming from. Don't these people have hobbies?
YouTube is their hobby. But like, not like my hobby, their hobby. Like, not like how YouTube is a hobby in my way of viewing it. YouTube is a hobby in that it is their venting. And it's not even just YouTube, because not all of these people are on YouTube. It's the internet's purely the medium through which they exist. It's not just YouTube. It is just the internet. That is how they exist. That's how they choose to persist their lives. And everything about them is dictated off of being an online personality. And not even like a super popular one necessarily, just being online and being a personality.
I just like, I mean, I just was just jumping around doing some things, and so I just pulled up chat right now, and it's like, yeah, they're, Zombie Ted eating Evolved Potato, both made reference to that the one time I talked to Coach Cringe, and yeah, he asked for it. It literally, I don't mean that as just a saying, like I tried avoiding it, but he literally said, no, I want to hear this. All right. And I mean, like Irate Prostate, he's there, and he found himself all caught up in the thing with Scoob too. And it's like, what? Why? What did Mickey Killer is going to come get you? He's a bad man. That whole thing. And then I love, hold on, number one, nowhere. People want to ruin the reputation for my entertainment. Not going to stop them. I hear you. That is what is kind of like at the core of this, because anybody watching, people discussing this where one person is going, come on, man. Or something like AP's streams or videos, plural, covering the whole thing. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you is right at the core of what's so funny, because it's just so outside of most people's experience that people would spend their time doing this shit and taking it this ridiculously far. That's the joke. That's what's fucking funny. It's like, why is this guy continuing to carry on with this? How is it? I mean, remember Coach Red Pill like a year ago, whatever, I think a year ago, whatever it was, where I was on Monkey's stream, where Monkey invited me on his stream and ended up talking to him. That he was predicting a year, Sargon's failing. His whole channel's disappearing. A year from now, he's going to be like a ridiculous joke. He's going to be like the Amazing Atheist. No one's going to know anything about him. And it's like, he's pulling in 17 grand a month over on Subscribestar. Even after people tried to ruin him, he's fine, Coach. He's doing fine.
He is doing just fine.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like you could not have been further off in your predictions, and your predictions were really just based on, okay, we get it. You really don't like the guy. I mean, you were making a prediction. You were making a wish. You know what I mean? I don't know. We do our little stream here, Weaves. I do my little thing, and like that's what people should be focused on: building your brand, having fun, interacting with your audience, some good laughs. This other stuff, man, leave that for the side.
Down other people just because they piss you off online.
Yeah, you got people in chat talking about that. It's just like living to tear people down and stuff, and it's like, that's your hobby. Damn, you're an uninteresting person. If that's the best you can come up with.
All it is that you want to do.
Yeah, and you talked about like the IBS thing, and it's like, yeah, this is what this boils down to. I mean, you when you're a wannabe and shit poor, incompetent Jerry Springer, you've made some poor life decisions.
Oof. The thing that gets me though, right, is that they go on streams with each other in an attempt to somewhat have a conversation, and then they put on this persona. At least I think it's a persona. It could very well be like their actual real life, who they are, but they put on this like attitude that is entirely uncooperative. It's obstinate, it's irritable, and it's insulting and offensive. But in all of the ways that aren't charming, that aren't funny, that aren't lucrative, that are just pure cringe. And that's what I was experiencing these last 2 days, just watching the different streams, just because they happened to be there and I was busy doing other things that were just completely mindless.
Uh,
That's what it came off to me as. Like, no one comes out of these kind of things looking good for the most part. They all come out of it looking like absolute fools.
yeah.
Yeah. And I will say this. I have been guilty of being in that party from time to time in terms of like engaging with people in a way, in a manner that I have deemed obstinate and foolish. Absolutely. 100%. Because it is so easy to get drawn into that kind of a reaction by people that definitely bring out a visceral reaction in you and then have it return to you as well, especially like when you feel obligated to be there because there is an audience and you can't just cow out and leave and hang up like it's a phone call. No, you have to stay till the bitter end, until you make your like grand exit, until you have like your last witty retort. There's a certain pressure there that imposes upon you to stick it to the bitter end, and it's going to be bitter. And then once it is at the end, it just kind of fizzles out and people lose interest and they're like, yeah, that was kind of a waste of time. I mean, it can be funny, sure, but it's overwhelmingly really sad to me at this point. And even if I do engage in them, I don't feel all that successful for having engaged in them after the fact. It feels more like a waste of time to me. Especially the last two that I just watched. Not the ones that I was part of. I don't know. I feel like they bring out the ugliness in people.
Yeah, I think there's no small amount of people they sort of protecting their image. They're accused of doing something, so they'll show up somewhere to like argue that's not true. I see some people getting caught up in it that way. I don't know, man. Overall, it seems like a thing to avoid if at all possible. I mean, I realize sometimes that's not possible, but whew.
Yeah. Skipdoc asks, what does it ever accomplish, Weebo Jones? Well, it accomplishes the confrontational aspect that people have a drive to do. Like, okay, low-key, yes. I am a rather confrontational person. I'd rather address my issues and grievances with the person individually than not, or just be passive-aggressive about it and talk behind people's back about it, or like make this diary entries on Twitter or Facebook about people that they're not specific enough that everyone knows who I'm talking about, but they're specific enough that the person I'm talking about knows it's about them, but they're also just passive aggressive enough that they're not actually going to approach me about it. And so we just kind of go in this constant loop of passive aggressive posting online about people to their Facebook behind their back, and it just it's a vicious cycle. I am a rather confrontational person, contrast to that behavior. I will approach a person and I will address an issue I have with them, a grievance that I have with them, more often than not. Unless it's just completely stupid and I drop it and it's not worth my time. And a lot of the times people only want to do that on stream, or that's the only access that anyone ever has to another person. Like, I'm pretty sure that, you're not going to get Medicare, for instance, in a private Discord voice chat with you to just kind of hash things out that you have grievance wise. I don't think he does that. I think everything that he does online is strictly for the entertainment value of it, for the showmanship of it. I think maybe the same thing with a lot of the people involved in the drama IDS community, because I think that's really the only name that we can ascribe to it at this point, unless there's another name that I'm not aware of. Because I haven't been following IBS for quite a while. I've been busy a lot of this year, so I haven't been following it closely at all. So it's entirely there's entirely a potential that they change their name. But like, yeah. Sorry, side tangent. What does it even accomplish? Like I said, the confrontational aspect, because most people aren't willing to do that unless it's for a show.
The core, well, okay, the core of talking about somebody in this kind of way, or so and so, and this and that, and the drama, race calls it drama BS. Yeah, and what does it ever accomplish? Skep is asking. I hear you, but what it does accomplish is what it accomplishes for anybody who does it IRL as much as it does for like online. It's content. Online we call it content. In real life we call it just conversation. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, Weebo, hey, you know that person we both know? I heard something the other day. You want to hear what it is? And you're like, oh, what? Oh, shit. You know what I mean? What that comes down to, it's not hard to figure out what's going on there. And this is not my observation. It's an old one. I'm not interesting enough to come up with anything interesting to talk about, so I'm going to talk about somebody. It's a way of seeming temporarily interesting. It's a way of temporarily holding someone's attention because nothing you say, you as yourself, your thoughts on the world, whatever it is you're up to, back and forth between you and the other person, it's just not interesting because you're a boring fucking person. So in order to seem temporarily interesting, you talk you talk about this kind of stuff. And for all these words you come up, oh, it's drama, oh, it's clout chasing, all this. There already has been a word that's been around for a long time about this. Gossip.
Yeah. Although I will address a caveat to this. It doesn't necessarily make you the boring one, but maybe the company that you're keeping is so boring that they need to hear random anecdotes about other people in order to be satisfied and not bored with conversation too. Yeah. I mean, there's that potential as well.
The people fair enough. The people you're around are of the type that the only thing that they're going to find interesting is gossip. That's right. You are little better than a bunch of busybody old ladies sitting around a sewing circle talking trash about each other's husband and that bitch down the street who thinks she's too good to come and hang out with us.
Polly, are you talking smack about the people that we're talking smack about?
I'm talking smack about anybody who thinks that it's actually interest for grown men to sit around and gossip like a bunch of women at a market. No offense to any ladies here.
Hang on, pause. Because gossip implies that the person you're talking smack about is not present while you're talking smack about them. But in this case, online, the person you are talking smack about is right there in front of you. And that person is talking just as much smack back at you. So you are basically engaging in verbal fisticuffs with them. It's like a duel.
It's okay.
But less impressive.
Unlike JF's description of it as being, what did he call it? Intellectual MMA?
That's not what I would call it at all.
That's what he called it. It's gossiping about somebody until the point where it creates a desire for a confrontation, and then blood when the people confront each other. Like, okay, I like arguments as much as the next person because we're all human and we enjoy the drama of human conflict in that way, but so much of it was forced. Let's just talk crap about somebody until they show up. I remember watching a few episodes of Kumite in the morning, and it was 5-hour long fucking stream. Let's just talk about people generally, and then because we got some shit. This person better come on and defend themselves. You're not going to show up. Oh, you a pussy. And it's like, wait a minute. Did you think everybody on the internet is sitting around listening to you guys just waiting to see if their name comes up?
No, maybe. Pause for the cause there. Devilfruit Zero, thank you for the donation. Over on the super chat, strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. And he question marks the attribution to Socrates. I actually don't know who that was attributed to, but it works. And then Zero for 5 over on the not the super chats, the Streamlabs. There we go. Thought Patrol trailer looks amazing and looking forward to the content to come. Keep up the great work, Weebs. I'm super excited actually for that episode. I worked very hard on it and I purchased a costume and I spent time putting together a trailer because it is going to be a staple of the channel. I aim to not just be informative with it, but also to initiate some sort of discussion and or potentially maybe like some back and forth between parties depending on the subject at hand. But I think it has potential to be a varied topic. It doesn't have to just be something that is discussed regarding Twitch thoughts. So if you guys have any content that you think would make a good thought patrol, by all means, send it to me. There's a Discord with a link in the description, and we have a channel entirely dedicated to, sharing with me potential videos if you so choose, because finding content is hard. And I am not above using my audience to be super lazy about shit, because I do all the heavy lifting. You guys just have to give me ideas. All right, sorry. Complete tangent. Also, guys, if you don't mind, Polly's link is in the description too. Totally go donate to his Stream Labs. Oh my god, I don't know why I hesitate. Stream Labs, not Stream Yard. We're on Stream Yard. Donate to Stream Labs. There we go. Help him fund his next working potato.
Oh man.
I think we agreed that it's vodka potato mix or something.
Yes, because that is the ultimate evolution of the potato. Who was it that came up with that? That really made me laugh. I was like, did that happen here too?
I think that might have happened here, yeah. And by potato, guys, we do not mean an edible, delicious, delectable starch. No, we are referring to Polly's current laptop that performs like a potato.
Sadly, it does. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to having a computer such that I can reliably present video whilst on stream.
It's good to have dreams.
Yeah, they're humble dreams, but they're my dreams, damn it.
You know what? I'm not one to judge. My dreams are very humble as well, so it be that way.
So we watched Coco the other day.
Yes, we did, and it made Polly cry, but like in a good way.
I never cried. You cried.
I did cry. I was my third viewing of the movie, and I was sobbing like a little bitch. You could hear me probably, Polly. I was sniffling the whole time, and you could probably hear the microphone like brush up against the tissue that I was putting up to my face, because I was absolutely bawling. It was so bad, and it's not even necessarily a sad movie, but it gets to a point where it just hits you right in the feels, and it's both the best and the worst kind of cry that you can have, because it resolves so pleasantly, Yeah,
I was trying to think of something that would I got a big collection of films and movies and stuff on my external hard drives. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I got to do a responsorial type movie to this. I got to pick like something that's like emotionally deep and maybe not necessarily a tear jerker, but something that really gets it, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I'm looking through it and I'm like, I got nothing like that. Just dozens, hundreds of films and scrolling for like 15 minutes and I couldn't find nothing. It was a little wild.
Well, to be fair, it is not hard to make me sob during a movie. Especially one that's like has a modicum of well-established emotional themes. So, like, I cried during The Notebook, during Safe Haven. These are Nicholas Sparks adaptations, by the way. Who's known for his romantic novels, and then their adaptations are like decent. They're movies for women. Let's be honest. But those two movies, they had an element that just like hit me. Like The Notebook ends with a woman who's suffering from, I think, memory loss due to dementia, and her husband who's like telling her stories about their lives together because she can't remember anything. She can't remember anything about herself. And then I think eventually they die. Spoiler alert, by the way. They die in each other's arms, and she remembers him just before they do. And it's like, And then Safe Haven, like the plot twist at the end is that what's her face's friend who she'd made when she was running away from her abusive husband. Sorry, again, spoiler alerts. Not like you guys are actually gonna watch this, but like the plot twist is that the friend who is it Colby Smulders that played Maria Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Colby Smulders, the friend, is actually the ghost of the dead mother of the ghost of the dead widow of the guy that she's seeing now. Julianne Hough, I think, is seeing now in the movie. And Julianne Hough is like the replacement for the mother. And she'd written a whole bunch of letters to her children on like their graduation and their wedding day because she knew she was dying before she actually died. And so she actually ended up writing a note or a letter to her husband's future like wife / next love down the line. And that just had me bawling. So it's not hard to get me emotional over a movie. You just have to hit all the right notes. I am a blubbering mess, and it's very easy to get to me to that part. It's a bad time. Thank you the next 6 minutes for the donation over on the Streamlabs. Heckin' high damn vibes, weebs. Looking forward to your new video. It's gonna rock. Anyhow, this awesome Weebo has some very sweet merch for y'all to make yourself look flippin' fantastic. Hot damn. Give this girl the highest of fives and sub. Definitely. And also, don't forget, Polly has his donation link in the chat. So, or not the chat, but the description. There we go. I got this. So don't hesitate to make him a little bit more rich. Welcome to Weebo's Chick Flick Movie Reviews, says Daniel Fullman. Yeah, basically. Oh, you know what? If I was feeling really evil, I could have made Polly watch one of the Nicholas Sparks movies too.
Nicholas who?
Nicholas Sparks. Did you miss like the last 5 minutes of me just talking?
No, you were talking about amnesiac woman writing letters to people she doesn't know yet.
No, oh my god. Yeah, you did miss it. Okay, you just kind of tuned me out then, didn't you, I guess?
I don't know. Yeah.
You got some of the ideas together, but they weren't exactly in order, and so I'm thinking like, This is good practice, though, Polly. It's good practice for when you actually have a girlfriend that, you know, wants to talk your ear off about movies that are not things that you're interested in, all right? So you gotta get better at pretending to listen.
I remember watching this episode of MASH back in the day, and this guy was desperate to go to... He was trying to get a weekend pass, trying to scam and swindle a weekend pass so he could go to Tokyo because he's obsessed with Japanese culture. And he's making his case to the commanding officer. And he's like, you don't understand. I have to go to Japan. I want to go to the kabuki. I want to eat sushi on the Ginza. I want to have an affair with a woman I can think of years from now when my wife is talking to me.
That works.
Oh, that line really stuck with me because it's like, holy shit, dude. That's
way to be brutally honest to your superior officer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. What TV show was that? Or was that a movie? MASH. I don't know what that is actually.
It's about a bunch of surgeons at a mobile army surgical hospital, MASH.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're not too far from the front, and the whole thing it's based upon a book that was then turned into a movie with Donald Sutherland, which was it's really black comedy, the movie. I finally got around to watching it because I was on this Robert Altman kick where I wanted to watch a lot of Robert Altman's 70s movies. Great director, man. And then so they took that movie and they turned it sort of into a comedy show that had moments of drama. And as it went on, it became one big preach fest against the Vietnam War, is the way that I look at it, where it's all wars are bad and feminism and Hippie doctors. Thank you, Next 6 Minute, for the donation. I don't believe in anti-otter lies. Otters rule and do cute things with their hands when they float on their backs and eat shellfish and stuff. The otters need the otters need sweet potatoes that have all the sweet components. Much power. Super potato. Thank you, Next 6 Minutes. It's true. Iron Alex is spreading a lot of really unfortunate lies about otters. He keeps calling them rapists. It's terrible.
Oh
It's
my
bad
God.
stuff.
I know exactly what he's talking about, and I can't unread what I read that day about dolphins or otters, because I knew about dolphins. I didn't know everything about dolphins, and I didn't know anything about otters, and now I know too much, and I don't want to know it, and I need to sanitize my brain. It was so bad. It was so bad, Polly. Make it go away. It was so bad.
So in any case, the next movie that I'm going to recommend to Weebs, I like after watching Coco, it's like I'm thinking we need something like palate cleansing. So
you need a palate cleanser after Coco. Coco is the palate cleanser.
What palate cleanser in a different direction. Okay, you want a drink of sparkling water after every what do you call them, course in a meal, just to cleanse your palate for the next thing. And so we should what, John Wick? Oh no, John
not
Woo.
Super child friendly and you know,
we should go some John
colorful
Woo.
and innocent.
Have you ever watched any Hong Kong shoot 'em up flicks?
Nope. John Woo is not something I'm familiar with.
He's the director who did a number of films in Hong Kong cinema that were pretty highly regarded and gave Chow Yun-fat as an actor a hell of a lot of credibility. Went on to do American films. He was in Crouching Monkey, Hide and Go Seek Dragon, whatever it was called.
Yeah, ask me, because I know that. I know exactly what it is you're talking about. That help.
No, I'm a big fan of Chow Yun-fat. I think he's great. The Killers and Hard Boiled and Better Tomorrow. Much like some directors will find with a certain actor that it's just like we work well together. I want to keep making, it's a film partnership, like Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. And then Martin Scorsese started doing the same thing with Leonardo DiCaprio, making a series of films together just because they found a partnership that worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you find like a director that you like, who you work well with, obviously, that's the start of something beautiful.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Scorsese's films at all?
Perhaps. Here's the thing. If I had paid attention for most of my life to the directors and the actors within movies that I've already seen, I would be better equipped to answer your question here. Unfortunately, for a long, long time, I did not. And therefore, I can't say for certain if I'm a fan. I know I'm more than likely a fan, but I couldn't tell you if I was about what. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Zerial?
Like
Zeriel, I think is how you pronounce it. Thank you for the $5. Small drop in the bucket for the new potato fund for the amazing Polly. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you hear a rock band and you like the song and you know the song, but you don't know what band is playing the song.
Fair enough. I mean, Irate Prostate mentions Mean Streets, and good on you, man. That's one of his earliest films. Does not get the recognition it deserves. Harvey Keitel. I wish Keitel was in more Scorsese films. It's really underrated. It was a lot of signs of things to come with him, and people say, "Oh, it was a nice proto film for him, but it wasn't good in its own right." And I'm like, "Oh, bite your tongue! It was fucking great." And then, of course,
bite your tongue.
Yeah, there's the legendary Taxi Driver. Oh man, was that movie good?
I've heard of that. I don't think I've actually seen it though.
Thank you, Evolved Potato, for the very generous $20 and the very ungenerous statement he makes, which is as follows.
Ooh.
Otters are known to kill and then rape the bodies of baby seals while it dies. And for a time after.
No.
Don't believe Polly.
No.
He is a known liar, said Evolved Potato.
No. I didn't need to be reminded. This is so bad.
I mean, first things first, one, they're wild animals, for God's sake. And number two, it's not true. It's not.
Yeah, but their cuteness has been reduced by a factor of like 8.
I don't know. Is your adorable family dog like? I mean, they sniff butts and eat poo and randomly fuck other dogs they encounter. Like,
no, she doesn't do any of that. She is the most well-behaved princess of them all.
No, she does none of those.
The worst behavior she ever encounters, or the worst behavior we ever encounter that she enacts, is like after she's just hung out with Ginger for a little bit, which is our cousin's dog. She'll start jumping up to greet people, but other than that, she is a well-behaved lady.
It is a
well-trained, well-behaved lady.
But back to Scorsese. I mean, I don't know. He's made lots. He's made lots of films. The Irishman that everybody talked a lot about, the Netflix film, and they didn't have anything more creative than to say than it was really long. Goodfellas. There's another film. Is Casino. One of his most underrated films is, in my opinion, is The Last Temptation of Christ. What an odd take, and he was the director to take that on. Because it's like what strange material that book is. You're talking about speculative fiction about Christ. It's really, Scorsese, you're going to do this, and he did. And to see Harvey Keitel playing Judas, weird, like, and interesting, and just to kind of see the Scorsese camera and cinematic techniques that he uses to a film about Jesus. It's largely speculative fiction. Oh man, it's worth watching if you're a fan of his films and you've never seen it.
Probably in the business, that's called fan fiction.
Well, there were no
fiction about Jesus. That's fan fiction.
You listen. This isn't My Immortal, okay? It's a little different. There's no self-inserts. There's no Mary Sue.
No. You misunderstand. You misunderstand. Fan fiction, all right, I need to explain to you a thing. Fan fiction is not just simply your My Immortals of the world. It's not just simply your Harry Potter and the School of Miracles and Prayers. It's not simply just a whole bunch of self-insert Mary Sue characters. Fan fiction is an adaptation of an IP that has been taken in a direction by a fan that they would have liked to see. This can be in an alternate universe. This can be in an extended version of the current universe, the canon universe. This could be with OC inserts, obviously, original characters. That's what OC means. It really, the skies are the limit. The sky is the limit. You can do whatever it is that you want in a fan fiction, so long as you are attaching the original IP to said fan fiction. That is all that it qualifies as. So basically what you're saying, the speculative fiction, The Last Temptation of Christ, it's basically a fan fiction. Because it takes the original IP and it adds in elements that aren't originally there. It is an inspired work from this original thing. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, the movie itself isn't the work of fiction. It's based upon a book of the same name that Scorsese found and read, and had its own little controversy around it. But he thought it was it was really influential to him, and it secured the rights to make it into a movie. And bang, there you go. Odd choice for him, but yeah. And like Willem Dafoe as Jesus, weird choice. But I mean, that it fits in with the realm of it. It's flipping every character on its head, like reversing everybody's role. Judas is the bold and brave one, not the weak betrayer. Jesus is the weak man who doesn't have the spine to stand up to his destiny and live it out. It's like, and what the big question is, what does it change? If all of these characters are reversed, does it make any difference for me in terms of meaning? And Yeah, I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought it was
It's an
good because
interesting take.
yeah.
It's an exploratory look at, you know, like a story that means a lot to people, and certainly that can be controversial in practice. I mean, My Immortal was super controversial, but hilarious in execution too. It's good time. It's good time, as long as you don't take it seriously. But it's I appreciate the efforts that some people take into taking original IPs and maybe spicing them up a little bit, changing an aspect that they would like to see, exploring with them, getting creative. It's interesting to see the way that people's minds work.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, you adapt things in a similar way whenever it is that you take something and you make it into a different medium, or you add on to it, or you decide, hey, we're going to expand the universe, sometimes to great success, sometimes not. I'm looking at you, Star Wars. The next 6 minutes. Weebs, is it still snowing? No, it's not still snowing. Thank God. We literally just planted a whole bunch of vegetable plants for to grow. And I really hope that they didn't die because of all the snow. Because that would just suck. Cricket. Cricket. Cricket.
Oh,
You don't
so
have
speaking
like anything inspiring to add there, Polly? I thought that was the most interesting thing in the world that I just said.
Oh, you do?
No. What were you going to say? I'm giving you a hard time. Deal with it.
So, yeah, Weebo and I had this discussion about how we stream, and it turns out that we both think that we both overtalk each other and both cut each other off. So now there's like all this dead air because I'm like, no, your turn. No, you. No, you. You.
No, I have the opposite problem. I think you need to cut me off more because it's uncomfortable when I don't get cut off. I come from a family of people who cut other people off in terms of conversation, not on the road. It's just funny. So I need you to like interject
in conversation, not
where
on
it
the
is
road.
you see fit. Please. Otherwise, I feel like I need to like trail off in the conversation because no one's stopping me.
I let that conversation be. I'm like, oh, I can't overtalk Weebo anymore. Oh my God, this is terrible.
You were obviously drunk if that's what you took away from that conversation.
Well, I was drunk, and I thank you not to judge my drinking habits.
That's the opposite opinion you were supposed to take home. But yeah, Polly is too polite to me, guys. This is bad.
Well, I can get mean if you want.
Let's do it.
That's like what I do to our bar, and Far's there. People are like, you're so mean to Far. And it's like, yes, you guys, you don't understand. She's completely different off stream. On stream, she's like, oh, the nice Aussie girl. Off stream, she's a black-hearted Grinch, that one, man. She'll cut you to pieces in a second and then just not even think anything about it.
They'll never know that, though, because you would never let them know that, though. So it's your word against what they know. You know?
I do know.
Yeah.
So what do you have for us this week on Cocktail Hour, Weebo Jones?
Oh, was I supposed to come prepared with something?
No, not at all. I'm just fucking around.
Because I never do. But that's the thing that I like about this show, is that there's just so little that we prepare for the show. We just come with our lovely selves, and we entertain an audience just with our lovely selves and whatever it is we got boggling around in the mind. I appreciate that. Because I require low effort on my streams, whereas my videos are a little bit higher caliber, let's be honest.
Your streams are higher caliber?
No, my videos are higher caliber, as in I put more effort into those than anything that I could ever possibly do on stream.
Okay, rather than my usual array of strange memes and stuff, let's take a look at some odd pictures I came across in the past little while.
Ooh,
There's a map of the United States indicating where people call it soda pop or Coke.
that's not correct.
I was curious as to whether or not you thought it was.
All right, as someone who lives in the, hang on,
Don't dox yourself. I live in the
well, no, everyone
crossroads.
knows I live in the
between
Midwest. Everyone knows I live in the Midwest, but I'm trying to like determine if, yeah, okay, so the soda thing could be a little bit more widespread around Lake Michigan. No one really refers to it as pop where I live, and it says that we do. So now I am offended. The Coke thing is more of a myth. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone in my entire life call it Coke.
all carbonated beverage. Pop-Tart does. She swears by it, and it covers the massive region of the Texases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, because I'm really close to that, like, I don't know, Upper, Wisconsin, Michigan, Upper Illinois area, and you go far north, far enough north, you start to get people with Canadian accents without even actually reaching Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And so to call it pop doesn't make any sense. Soda, however, is something that I hear quite frequently.
Soda. Did you
Call it soda. Go get me some soda, guys. Can you get some soda and then maybe get the cheese as well?
That was isn't that more Wisconsin than anything?
That's what I said. The farther north you go in the Midwest, the more it sounds like you're from Canada. Like you get to the UP, it is indistinguishable, the accents, but you know.
The United Press?
Huh?
What?
What?
What's the UP?
Oh, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What Daniel?
You know, they call those people Youpers.
And there's soda pop is a thing that, like, when I'm reading like comics from the 60s and 70s, they're always calling it soda pop. Like, so where's the map where they combine it? Is that what happens in these little crossover regions here? Like right here is when the soda pop's happening.
I've also heard soda pop, but mostly it's just soda.
And what kills me, it's like it's Coca-Cola in pockets of this region. Coca-Cola? Really?
I'd like to see the study that this graphic is based upon, Polly. I would like to give it a gander myself, please and thank. Thank you to Lion Patriot who donated over on the Streamlabs to say this. What did y'all plant? In 2016, I grew yellow squash, okra, and cucumbers. There were no cucumbers, but we got some starters for strawberries. We got starters for baby red and yellow tomatoes. We got some big beefy tomatoes as well. We got some zucchini. We got what else did we get? Jalapeno pepper and a whole bunch of other bell peppers. There's one other thing that we got, I think. Oh, basil. We got basil because we like basil. I'm super excited. We used to have a garden when I was a kid and lived in a different household, but we don't live there anymore and we don't have a garden here anymore. So I'm ready for some fresh homegrown veggies. They're going to be exceptional. It's a good time. Sorry, side tangent. Polly, do you have any other images that you wanted to show me about the differences in the United States based off of just some completely arbitrary distinction that some random made on the internet?
Well, you know, calmly now. Nobody was supposed to take offense from any of this.
I personally am offended. All right, I don't like being put in a bubble that I don't fit into.
Bronco Boaz says it's pronounced Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
That's what I tried to say, Coca-Cola. Am I not enunciating the... Anyway.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. No, okay. It's never having heard the word. I am wide open to being told how it's actually being said. Okay, so I'm just loading up some stuff right now. We will return to some images in a while. Oh, you know this much ballyhooed. Ballyhooed. There's a word I don't get to
I'm
use
sorry?
very often. Ballyhooed.
I don't know what that means.
It's made much ado of. Something that's really
Oh,
built up
okay.
or hyped up. Ballyhooed.
A hullabaloo. I like
That
that
too.
one better.
Hullabaloo. You know what I'm a big fan of, and we need to bring into regular usage? Cattywampus.
What? Yes. I'm gonna rate that on my hand and be like, all right, use this 5 times in a sentence tomorrow. Caddy.
We had plans for the weekend, but everything went cattywampus.
See? I will use it 5 times tomorrow. In one day. I will make opportunities to say that.
Okay,
Sorry, so you were saying about what is it, ballyhoo? What about ballyhoo?
Oh yeah, what the fuck was I saying? Sorry,
I'm
Chad.
sorry.
This is terrible stream content. I'm all over the place here. I was thinking something that's been much ballyhooed. What the fuck were we just talking about before that? There's something that's a big deal's been made out of it.
What were you saying? He said something about ballywampus, and then he went off in a tangent about how you don't ever get to use it. No, not ballywampus, ballyhoo. Then we talked about cattywampus or cattywampus. But before that, what were we talking about? Chat, help!
Yeah, the thing
we
that I thought
about
a lot of hype has been made out of it. The shit. Sorry, chat. That was balls, man. That was no good.
All right, so what have the people been making a big cattywampus about?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't even remember what I was. That's the issue.
Fuck. I don't know either. I can't read your mind. This is actually really frustrating because I got excited about things mainly because you came to me with a word that I didn't know about, but also because I like hearing people's ballyhoos.
No. Look. Oh, I remember now. And you know why? Because Unholy Reaper just came into chat and his simple presence reminded me of what it was.
Sorry, Unholy Reaper.
there has been much ballyhoo made in and around having a gun stream. That's what it was about. So, okay. Out of nowhere, Sinatra gets a hold of me and says, "Hey, man, you want to do a gun stream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. When?" He goes, "Thursday." I'm like, "Cool." And I was like, "Yeah." So I go around and I collect stories and information and different things. And the Unholy Reaper had hit me up with gun cringe pictures, like some nightmare. What's the word I'm looking for here? Hold on, give me a second. Cursed gun images. And I'm like, so yes. I went and clipped a bunch of images from that video specifically to have. I had other stuff. I was prepared. I was going into the gun stream with some proper shit. And so I hit up Sinatra at like, 8, 9 a.m., when I was getting ready for bed and he was waking up, you know how it is. And I said, so we still doing the gun stream? And he's like, oh, no, my D&D stream got pushed back. We'll have to do it some other time. And then the motherfucker had the hot nerve to say back to me, see how easy it is to let someone know beforehand that you're not going to be available.
But you had to ask him about it.
But though. I had to ask him. That's the level of moxie and gumption that man operates at.
You call him on that? Unbelievable. Did you say something about that? Did you just be like,
I can't remember. I think I made some smart ass retort about, motherfucker, would you have said anything if I hadn't asked? Would I be sitting here tapping my fucking foot waiting for the stream to start and being like, oh, sorry, man, I'm off playing D&D. Like
the nerve. Can you believe a guy like that? Sinatra. Hey, maybe if we I don't know, talk smack about him enough, we'll cause drama between the streams, and then we can like start a whole IBS side feature by ourselves.
Yeah, let me tell you something about that Sinatra guy.
Goddamn snatcher.
You know, he's never really crooned in a Las Vegas casino bar. Never once.
Ah.
He doesn't even know Sammy Davis Jr., the fraud.
I bet you he can't even sing. It's just him lip singing.
Actually, I can attest to the fact he can. Have you ever heard him try to sing along with a horse cock? Oh my God.
No, I haven't. I know we love Sinatra. Oh,
of all potatoes, do you actually use Moxie and Gumption? Did you actually use Moxie and Gumption? Yes, I did. You know, I do Noir Bar, right? You've been there, man. You've seen it. Like it's there's nothing wrong with hey, did you see the gams on that dame? There's nothing wrong with these words. We need to bring them back into.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's a gam?
Legs. In this context, it's referring to legs.
Okay, that's not the most appealing word to use to describe a woman or any aspect of a woman. It sounds like to me, gams on a woman, like some old woman lacking in dentures or any teeth for that matter, who's just got like gums. Like, look, observe that woman's gams. Aren't they just so chewy looking? That's what that sounds like to me. That's not charming at all. That does not harken me back to a better time, Polly. Or give me nostalgia for a time that I never existed in. It makes me self-conscious about my tooth health.
Do you feel your tooth health is a little messed, or what?
No, it makes me feel like I need to brush my teeth immediately, so to prevent tooth decay, by all means, so that I don't have gams. Which are actually teeth, but they sound like gums.
I get you. You don't want to develop gams. No, yeah, legs, toots. Yeah, toots is a good one. Yeah.
Okay, toots, I recognize, and I get that. But I've never heard gams.
Ever. You know why?
Why?
You don't watch cool old films. That's why.
Well, whose fault is that, Polly? You've had ample opportunities to get me to watch cool old films.
You know what? I'll tell you something, chat. It's time for me to vent a little here. You know what it's like scheduling something with Weebo? Like it is scheduling anything with any woman. Like, okay, like a dude will be like, yo, man, you want to go get a drink? When? Hour? Yeah, that's cool. Well, you know, there it is, right? You know, Weebo, hey, why don't we watch this movie? Okay, I am free 3 weeks from tomorrow at 8:52 Eastern.
Are you ranting about my ability to keep a calendar again, Polly?
I'm just. It's not even about the calendar. It's more about, hey, you want to watch a movie? Scheduling it like a month and a half away is like, hey, listen, I get it. We all have tight schedules, but come on, man. But by that time, I'll have seen that movie and 5 others.
You don't have to see that movie before thing.
See, Plotty says in chat, you don't have much room to speak since you can't really keep times in general. But that's my point here. What kind of counterpoint was that?
Jolander in the chat with the hard-hitting criticism. Hey, she does show up on time. I do.
It's not being late. I live an inspired life. I'm inspired to do something at a given time. And if the mood ain't right, you know, hey.
Quote for me, like 3 enlightened, inspired individuals who revered in being late to things. Why don't you?
Cody, what?
Oh, okay. All right. Let me rephrase my question. If you can give me like 3 quotes from inspired people about being late and how it's actually better, I will let this go. I can't guarantee the chat will, but I will.
Albert Einstein couldn't be on time for shit.
Okay, where's
It's
that
true.
quote? What quote? Quote to me. Him saying it's a good thing.
But you want me to go find a quote of somebody saying Albert Einstein couldn't be on time for nothing?
No, I don't want you to. I would have preferred that if you just had them on hand, because you know you store things like a chipmunk in winter. You just have that kind of like a backlog of stuff. Yeah, like in a tree, except they're computer files. You just have them.
Okay, I've lost the plot. What are you saying?
Okay, so I expect you to have just quotes on hand ready to distribute to the audience, like a chipmunk in winter.
I'm busy putting together content right now. What are you doing other than busting my balls?
Well, there's that, but someone's got to, obviously. And then I also have a video that's coming out tomorrow.
Do you? Sweet.
It's the Thought Patrol first episode.
Oh, that one's coming out tomorrow finally? Sweet. Sweet. Yeah. I shouldn't say finally. Dude, I just mean...
For whatever reason, my computer does not want to upload it. Which could be a problem. But I hope not. I think all I have to do is just restart my computer and see about that. Oh, do you want to watch the trailer for it? Because I made a trailer for it.
Yeah,
I love cutting trailers for series that I'm coming up with. All right, hang on. All right. I put it on the Twitter. I'm super excited because I put so much work and effort into it.
I believe
it was a whole ass thing. It was a good time. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Chrome tab. Wolfgang Jones. I need to come up with a new name for myself. Okay. There we go. Move it back. Ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
No.
Okay, hang on. I did it silly. I just realized I didn't click the little share audio thing. All right, it's important. All right, ready? Go.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
No, so when you guys dono to me, it tells me your name that is attached to your PayPal. And if your name is attached to your PayPal and you dono to me, I look you up on Google. I Google each and every one of your names.
What we do here is go back.
Woo! It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing, because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution. I mean, I have people who sub to me and they're students and they're in debt, but they still manage their money well enough to be able to afford a $5 sub per month. It's $5. It's really like no one's gonna convince me that what I'm saying is so rude or so unacceptable or so outrageous. I doubled down on a bad opinion. It was the wrong thing to do. It was not the right way to deal with the situation. I don't hold that opinion. Not truly. That $5 isn't a lot of money, because I know from my own experience that $5 means so much to different people. It's $5. It doesn't cost you that much to sub. I mean, you don't have to have money to be able to afford a $5 subscription. It's $5.
I love cutting those things. They're such a good time.
You just reminded me of that apology stream. It's like, it couldn't have been any less authentic if you could actually see the gun barrel to the back of her head forcing her to say it. I
know. I go into excruciating detail about how inauthentic that apology is in the video, because I felt it was necessary. I don't think anyone else did nearly as good a job ripping that apology apart as I did.
Yeah. I watched the whole thing on somebody else's channel, and I didn't want to hear I just wanted to see it unadulterated before I heard anybody's commentary upon it. And I'm glad I cut it that way. And the way the way she's sitting with like a perfectly straight spine, sitting up. There's no knee-high socks showing. No leg skin showing whatsoever. She's like completely de-thoughted. She's sitting in the same place that she always sits, but all of her stuffed plushy animals are gone now. So it's to kind of like remove the cutesy aspect from it. All very much thought out, where it's thought out, where it's like, I need to remove all this. And it was just the feelings I have. And the part that I found the most galling is when she goes, there's a person in chat and I should not have engaged that person. She comes so close to acting like somebody in chat was fucking with her and she sunk to that person's level, which she should not have done.
No, that's exactly what it was that she was basically saying. She's like, I engaged in a bad faith argument. Bitch, you replied to a sub that was talking about how they had no excuses for not subbing because he was like a broke college student.
Yeah, it's somebody saying I'm broke, and and bad faith discussions can only lead like to bad faith results or words to that effect, with bad faith arguments or bad faith ends. And it's like the only person that was nobody was arguing anything in bad faith. That person was saying in earnest, I don't have the money, and you were responding in earnest, get fucked, scrub, get some money. There was bad faith is when you're deliberately misrepresenting yourself. No, you were representing yourself quite honestly, as was he. There was nothing bad faith about anything. That's what I find so obnoxious about her point there. It's like, and I should not have engaged with that person. You shouldn't have engaged with one of your subs by telling them, like, get good, scrub.
Get good.
I mean, and I recognize your feelings and I want to hear your truth. And I don't hold that opinion. And I realize, and then her mods, in other words, her orbiters, allowed some questions to go through. It's like, so I'm just going to wait here quietly for the mods to put forward some questions. And the first question was asked, like you said, the question was words to the effect of, at the time you said that nothing is going to change your opinion of this. And now you're saying that never was your opinion. So what has changed other than you losing a bunch of subs and that video clip going viral? I mean, that is such a inescapable, painted into a corner point. I really don't know how she could have responded to, how anybody could have responded to it. Like, what do you say?
He said, in that moment, I was making this argument and it's not something that I wanted to make, but it's like I was stooping to that level in that moment, in the moment. And then 4 days later, she had the exact same opinion as well. And it ended the exact same way. So either she is chronically having the same bad take accidentally, like she's got, like, I don't know, Tourette's or something of the bad takes, or her apology is absolutely bullshit and she's just doing this because she's been painted into a corner. But yeah, that all of that is just preamble for the main point that it is that I make in the end of the video. Because I don't just talk about the ridiculousness of the initial statements plus the absolute just non-apology that she made. I also go into the really creepy factor, which we talked about a few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The one where she was stalking her subs.
When she
that is like
leans forward with a truly wicked smile, looking right at the camera and says, a lot of engineers, you are such a filthy whore.
Polly, tell us how you really feel.
Well, there's no other way to say it. Like, you're looking people up by their PayPal to donate to you. And I had a conversation with somebody in Discord about that. And it's, what did you mean by that? Like, what lay behind that? And you can only speculate because none of us can read her mind. But it's like, were you saying, I know who you are and I know you have a lot of money? So it's like a quasi blackmail. Like, you want to give me more money because I know who you are and I know you have money. You wouldn't want your significant other knowing that you're watching some buddy like me online and giving a whole bunch of money to them? Or is it like I'm offering you the potential of getting a hold of me IRL because I know who you are? So maybe don't you want to be my sugar daddy? Because I know a lot of you have the money to be that. I got guesses that people were taking. And it's
maybe if you donate to her, she'll look you up and maybe she'll reach out to you if she likes what she sees.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, what the hell was, and somebody said maybe she meant all of that. I don't know. I don't attribute multiple motivations to that. I think she was thinking of one particular thing. We're not telepaths, so we don't know what it is, but I am actually baffled as to her motivation. Like a lot of engineers with this big wicked smile, the way like a fucking words begin to fail. I start stumbling and shit. I can't even make any sense out of it.
Yeah. But I'm super excited to make that video go live because I think it's going to be the start of a really nice series. I even have merch planned out because Thought Patrol, it's a versatile thing to put on a t-shirt. Thought Patrol. It's going to be a thing. It's going to definitely be a thing. And I didn't realize I was going to do the Law and Order thing until midway through editing yesterday. I was like, oh, I could do this. Because I needed a way to transition between the individual clips because I had them labeled as like Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, and Exhibit D. And I decided, I opted for the Law and Order transition because it fit in really nicely with the theme of the video, which was Thought Patrol. It was a good time. I had a really good time making it. Not like my most serious work, which I get, but it was a lot of fun to make. And putting on the costume and the inspiration for having the costume and the actual idea behind the theme of this series, I guess. Wow, that came out of my face weird. Series. I don't know. I got excited. Kind of like whenever I have the opportunity to don a costume for a video, I get super excited. Or whenever I have a really good idea for a video and it takes me a little bit more than just a day and a half to actually put it to film or whatnot, I get excited because then I get to do something unique and not like copy paste social commentator on YouTube. It's something different. And that was something different. And it felt really good. Yes, the Officer Jones thing. You okay?
Yeah, I fucking hate when my headphone cord gets caught on something and nearly pulls my fucking headphones right off my head. I hate that.
Guys, donate to Polly's longer headphone cord fund.
Donate to Polly's
link in the description.
Not wireless. You need to go Bluetooth.
Wireless headphone fund.
Actually, I've had that conversation with people that I want to go wireless headphones and they say don't do it. The battery situation, constantly having to worry about the batteries dying and having to recharge them and stuff is more obnoxious than any wire ever will be. This is what I'm told. I don't know.
Well, get a wireless one, but get one that can also be plugged in. Like I have a pair of Bose right here. I don't use these when we stream, but I can use them for calling, for talking, for whatever. But they also have a handy little plug in case these run out of battery and I can't go Bluetooth anymore. So
Sweet.
I just, plug it in, and that's go for both. Best of both worlds.
So look at this over here. Here's Invader V's Social Blade page is related to her Twitch followers. A couple of things out of it. It was like, oh my guys, you lost so many followers. Okay, let's keep a couple things in mind. She did, right? 77,900. And that was all happened in one day. Followers, not subs. That's the crucial.
The subs number resets. Maybe. I don't know. I don't actually stream on Twitch, by the way.
I mean, she's getting
is like secondhand. Hello? Are you still there, Polly?
Yes. Yeah. They continued to go up afterwards, as you can see, all lit up green. And it's, well, hey, look at the dip in her. There we go. monthly gained followers. It's straight line from like May of last year, right? And then she got really, really big, and then all of a sudden dipped. And I mean, but that's this being averaged out. She's going to be fine, guys, is the short version of it. She's going to be fine because every day after that, hundreds and hundreds of new followers. And remember, the money's coming from the subs, not the followers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's at. This is her complaint, right? I see a wall of people that are following me and very few subs are here, meaning like none of the people that are watching me are actually giving me money. And I want you to be giving me money. If none of her subs left her and there's no way to know, that's kind of like information only she has access to. And she's really worried about her image more than she's worried about having lost a bunch of money. Losing followers doesn't cost you any money. It's losing subs that does. So she very well might have lost a bunch of subs, but there's no way to know. But she's building them right back up. I think she's going to weather this just fine. My cynical side comes out, and it's like cute girl who dresses up in anime schoolgirl outfits, not schoolgirl outfits, but like anime girly outfits, and sits upon a bunch of cushions and says cutesy things while playing video games. There is a never-ending line of Sims to give her money. It's like, I hate to be the black pill guy on it, but she's not going to be harmed. It's going to be fine. She's going to go on with her life as if this never happened. A number of months from now, it's the only people who are going to even remember that it happened are people like, oh, that thought she totally got destroyed. No, she didn't.
Well, here's an idea, right? Maybe it's not just, and I think it was Danny Fullman that brings it up in the chat. Maybe it's hate following. Like, are you sure that they're following her simply because they like her personality, or are they following her because they want to see if she's going to do something equally as stupid as this, or make a similar statement to this in stupidity? Like, I know people who hate watch PewDiePie just waiting for him to slip up in terms of, next dog whistle to white nationalist type content. Like, when is he going to do the next thing that's going to send our panties into a twist? Like, goody goody. Like,
well,
I follow Invader V on Twitter right now, or Twitch right now, because I went through a lot of her content looking for a lot of this stuff to make a video on. But that's just one example. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, I don't remember.
Advocate Advoctus Diaboli. She will be fine till one of her disgruntled subs brutally murders her. Wow. I don't think it's going to get to that point. We very rarely hear about... Well, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, didn't Christina Grimmie was killed by a fan, right? And so maybe there was another girl on the internet who's like brutally murdered by someone she met online. Within the last year, I think I was on a plane back from VidCon when this all went down, of this girl who was stalked by some guy on the internet and brutally murdered by said guy on the internet. I can't even remember what her name was. Oh my god. But I remember making a post about it. So maybe that's not entirely untrue that could be the case. Like, if you piss someone off on the internet enough, and they have the opportunity and the motives and the means to do so, they will come and find you. Ah. Ooh, that's a scary thought to think about. The likelihood of it happening, though, is probably slim. Very slim. Okay, I'm done. You can talk now.
I see a bunch of people talking about the Lucy Liu thing, and I don't know enough about it one way or another.
That could be.
Have you guys been following it? And yeah, maybe you could summarize it. I'd like watching your video on it, because I see it come up my recommends, but I don't know anything about it.
I think she's the one that was doing like anime react videos that were just basically her giving her viewers the opportunity to pay less money for access to anime videos, and now she's getting sued by a whole bunch of anime studios for having blatantly just ripped their content and profited off of it blatantly and brazenly. If I'm not mistaken, that was her. Yes, she was just watching Naruto and getting paid for it. Yeah, so she would basically just sit there on Twitch or on Patreon or whatever, watch an episode of Naruto, barely reacting to it, and she would upload that to her patrons or subscribers or whatever for them to watch, and that's why they would watch, just for the episodes. And, oh, yes, she did flag a bunch of people. I do recall that. Thank you, Daniel Fullman. And she's been doing it and getting away with it for 5 years, and finally people are starting to, like, notice that this is a thing. Yeah, so maybe it would be a good Thought Patrol video to, like, go through the entirety of the story from start to finish. Just kind of like documentary style, but in the police officer costume. Just so people can follow along with it, because it is kind of all over the place. If you're following what the Quartering is reporting on, I mean, he's got all the updates, but they're like by the day. So he goes one day, oh, so this is what's going on in the case. So day 2, this is what's going on the day, or in the case, day 3, this is what's going on. And then you have to like switch between the different episodes, and he's got like 8 million uploads a day, which is a drastic over exaggeration, obviously, but still. And you have to kind of parse through things in order to actually understand the layout. And unless you've been following it from start to finish, you're going to be as lost and in the dark as, say, Polly is right now. Because he's getting the very Reader's Digest version of everything, just because I only have a Reader's Digest version of it, half of everything.
React videos. Speaking
of which, our React video, Polly, did you get my message after last week's stream about the question I was supposed to ask Sinatra?
No.
No. I'm pretty sure you did.
You're pretty sure I got the message?
I'm pretty sure you received it in DMs. I don't know if you read it, though. Also, you messaged me yesterday at like 1 in the morning while I was asleep.
It wasn't 1 in the morning. It was like 11 p.m., wasn't it?
12:46 a.m.
Oh, shit.
I was 15 minutes off. 14, sorry.
Fuck.
Yeah, what did you need?
What
did you want, Polly?
I wanted your comedic take on something.
I'm sorry. What did you need my comedic take on?
I'll show you afterwards. This is not stream content, Weebo. Fuck.
Fair. Yeah, I sent it to you on the 3rd of May. The answer to your question, and then you said, so can we reschedule the screening of Coco? 2 days later. So you just completely ignored my message. Wow, I see how it is. Polly.
Yeah, and so much for this idea that I don't let people know things in advance.
That's not the point. We're discussing how you just ignore people.
I honestly didn't even see that you had said that. No, anybody who DMs me knows. It's like, yeah, I try and respond to them, but absent-minded.
Sad face.
Well, yeah, it's not personal. Shit. But no, I meant to bring that up with Sinatra myself, and I just totally forgot about it. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. So we have another collab on top of all the other collabs that we're doing in the works, guys. So you're welcome. Sorry, that sounded so full of myself. Ourself. I don't know. Whatever. Self.
Themselves.
Themself. Yep. Well, we do. We interact very well together in a collab fashion. So I think, I don't know. This is a treat. It's a treat.
Oh, speaking
when
of
we get to
which,
do stuff.
speaking of collabs, are you? You're at the same spot with watching all your comic book movies before you can do your video, right? You haven't
Yeah,
watched
I'm
any
at the
more?
same spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still have to bother you and or Hammer about the last couple of movies that I still need to watch. Because I am almost a broke non-college student. That would be a college graduate, I believe. So I can't use that excuse anymore. I'll be an unemployed college graduate who's broke. And I need to still watch Blade Trinity, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Joker. Just 3 more. Just 3 more, guys. 3 more.
Okay, random picture time. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so coffee tonight. I keep reaching for my.
Because you have the coof.
Maybe.
You are sick and dying of the Wuhan flu.
Okay, let's start looking at some random pictures that have nothing to do with each other.
Okay. Are they?
Here's
Hey.
Weebo. We're beginning with Weebo Jones looking quite ladylike. This is the proper
was exploding.
This is the proper way to deal with a frothy, overflowing beer.
Well, how would you deal with it? Just let it overflow like a man.
Like a man. You let that shit hit the floor. You get your room smelling like a brewery. That's how you deal with it. I mean, what was I not supposed to go back and clip this from the stream? Is that what?
No, you go ahead by all means. Do what you must.
I used this as my avatar on Monkey in the Morning like a couple of months back.
You're the worst.
Oh, I'm an adorable scamp. It's fine. Okay.
Scamp is one way to describe you. Anyway.
Okay, so next random picture, we have
Are these just gonna be me? Okay, good.
caption. Weebo, what caption would you apply to this?
This pleases me. Which one would you eat first? Which grouping would you eat first, Polly? Just curious.
With the I would eat the citruses together in order last. So I think I would go blue, grape, cherry, and then the citri.
I think I'd eat them in order of color that I hate the most. So like,
yeah, Tiberius
Kirk
agrees. Blues first. Yeah.
No, orange first, then yellow, then purple, then blue, then green, then red.
See, Advocate says that's some serious OCD. Well, this is Pop-Tart's daughter who did this. She's just like, here, look what I did, Mom. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm grabbing a picture of that. I'm a copy of that. That's just funny as fuck to me. I don't know why I found that so funny. I just did. Why did you sit there and sort the color of your Fruit Loops child? I don't know. She just did. And it made me laugh.
Hey, it's quarantine. We're all coping somehow. Gotta do what you gotta do, Polly.
Well, she's awesome. She's awesome. But
I respect that hustle. I respect it immensely.
Yes. And then next in our completely out of order random pictures for no reason. Oh, shit. There we go.
Is this from like a movie about Vlad the Impaler or something?
It is, actually. This is the opening sequence of Bram Stoker's Dracula from the 1990s. This is
good.
A bunch of attacking Muslims sliding down poles at the beginning of the movie.
Cool.
Yep.
It happens. Yep.
So it's just random picture. Very ominous.
It doesn't even look real, though. Like, what? I'm looking at this guy, and is this supposed to be his jaw, or what up? It looks kind of ridiculous.
What are you looking at? What are you like this?
Okay, so it's the foremost person, and
yes,
the cartoony looking face that they got pointing downwards. Like,
well, it's not even a.
you
I
see
mean,
where there looks
well, it's not supposed to be a chin. These are all pieces of fabric that are hanging off of that are around his neck.
oh, okay. It looks
Well,
like
I like
that guy's
this guy
face-
back here. He looks like he's in the middle of a funk pose, like he's cutting a hot step. You know, he's like,
He's doing a
"Oh!"
thriller.
Yeah, you know. Yeah,
A good time.
yeah. So there's that random image. We're
Mhm.
going on to random image next. Oh, a meme that I've been enjoying. Anyone who's ever been in a Discord and been the subject of overzealous moderators knows what I'm talking about here.
I feel attacked right now. Hang on. Are you calling me a fascist dictator? Because that's completely accurate.
The thing I think I like the most is that they ran out of room on their jackets and had to start pinning shit on their pants. I love that so much.
We're meant to have a good time, and honestly, I feel so attacked right now.
I don't know. Have you ever been in a
okay,
Discord where you'll hover over a certain moderator's name and they'll have like 35 different roles that they've assigned to themselves and their fellow mods? It's like, yeah.
I just assign roles because they give certain people access, more access than other people should have. All right? All right. All right. Excuse. Yeah, those are like Boy Scout merit badges, says Devil Fruit Zero. Okay, that's how I order things in the side quest Discord, but there's a reason for that. Okay, we have librarians and we have artisans, and these are the curators of very specific channels that are basically just meant to be looked at and not touched. They're galleries, please.
And there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
What we have here is Mysterio from the original 1967 Spider-Man cartoon. Clearly, this is Mr. Spock, as you said. This is so obviously Mr. Spock. What the fuck, animators at Spider-Man headquarters, whatever the fuck, animation studio? Like, you needed to draw Mysterio, and clearly you had seen an episode of Star Trek last night and just decided to draw Spock.
Basically, without the hand signal, though.
I like, why does he have his pointed ears? He's just a dude. He's just a human. He's just a guy in a costume with special effect powers that confuses people and goes around and runs and does his criminality. Why did you give him pointed ears?
Holly, that's ridiculous. It's like asking people, why did you have to go out and get gauges? There's no sense in it. It just is. It happened, okay? It's a thing. Pay no attention to it. It's fine.
So
really,
truly. When I was watching this episode of 67 Spider-Man, because that series I still like it. It still makes me laugh. I'm like, holy shit, they just drew Spock. And I had to get a screen freeze of it. It was just, what the hell? Okay, let's see. What random picture shall we move on to next? Oh, I know. Gillian Anderson still smoking, am I right? Like her is Agent Scully. I mean, just look at this woman. I mean, she's got the things, man. Huh?
She's got one of those faces.
Oh yeah, man. Like the red hair and the business suit and the like, oh hell yeah, Agent Scully, come investigate me. Like, yeah.
Should I get back into X-Files? Because I only watched like maybe the first half of the first season before I ran out of free time, and now I have an overabundance of free time. And I don't know what to do with myself.
You could.
I'm stalling my last exam, Polly. I don't want it to be over yet, because then I have to do other things. I have to become an adult officially. Ugh.
She's got some sexy lips, this woman, and the eye. She's got that come hither, I have handcuffs type stare. You know, it's yeah. Anyway,
this is a family-friendly show.
Just saying.
Polly, control yourself.
Okay, so now let's talk about Ashley Judd for a second.
Okay, let's talk
Okay.
about her.
So
Okay.
let's talk about Ashley Judd. Like if we look at her way back, you know, we'll see her playing Ensign Robin Leffler on an episode of Star Trek Next Generation. She's looking rather cute in her little ensign's uniform here. She's kind of got this jaunty little smile. That's her. And then here she is in some black and white photography. Now that's a come hither look. Holy shit, woman. This is a very sexy woman. She's got it going on.
I don't know.
What? Really? Look at that raised eyebrow. That is provocative.
Something looks off about this picture. Something is off-putting about the face that she's got right here in this thing right here. Like, I don't know. It looks unnatural.
Have you ever
I
seen
like
her
it.
in Heat from 1995? She plays Krisha Harreliss's wife. Oh gosh, she's fetching. I mean, that is a sexy, sexy woman. And you hear that slight Kentuckian Southern accent that she's got going on. It's all very, very sexy. And then
Something's unsettling to this picture.
feminism
I can't put my finger
happened.
on. Hey, that's not fair. She is in the throes of passion right now, but not like in a fun way.
She's in the throes of feminist anger, making a speech about, I'm a nasty woman.
In the middle of a speech, a passionate like feminist speech. So I don't think it's fair to actually use this picture as the one that you're comparing to the other ones, even though the black and white one is not necessarily her best, I think, in my opinion.
That black and white picture is sexy. I'm sorry. And this all comes down to a point that I'm making of feminism, not even once. All of these lines, all of this anger, the exploding infernal hair, the deep jowls, the throat tendons, all of this, feminism caused this.
She is in the middle of a rant. It happens. I bet if you were in the middle of a rant, your face would contort just as upsettingly. Am I wrong? Am I right? I think I'm right.
I'm just saying, you know, I think of her as the brilliant and adorable and seductive Ensign Robin Leffler, and then you see pictures of her looking all like come hither and completely naked in bed, which is awesome, and then the sexy, slightly southern lady of again, I forget her character's name. She played Krisha Harreliss's wife in Heat, and then the onset of Trump derangement syndrome sets in.
I don't think this is a fair progression. I just don't.
Her hair is being exploded outwards with the power of Satan. You know, it's yeah.
The power of Satan.
Feminism.
Okay.
Not even once.
Mm-hmm. Next time you want to make that point, try a less agitated picture. Okay. Wow, that was tuneful.
It's for entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that we've done Ashley Judd wrong, that she's been
I
unfairly represented here.
I need to correct this error, this egregious error. And I will do this. I will do this now. Ashley Judd, feminism. Here we go. Okay, so this one, obviously, she's in the throes of a passionate speech. I don't think that's Ashley Judd, is it? No. Let's see. Why does it keep going sideways? What's going on here?
Do the before and after facial facelift surgery. Holy shit, woman. What'd you do to yourself?
This one? She looks thicker here than she does here. All right. I want to find a picture from the same event. What was the event that she was at?
The Women's March. The
That
nasty woman
the
thing?
woman-
Is that what you... Yeah.
Yeah, that was... there was an image of her down here doing that same thing. Oh, here we go. Here, the Nasty Woman March. Oh, and it's loading. It's taking forever. Obviously. There you go. Feminism. It's not as bad as you thought it would be.
Well...
It's a more neutral expression, therefore a little bit more fair to the point that you want to make, but she's still, you know, up there in age and impassioned. Maybe doesn't articulate the point that you want it to articulate as much, but it serves the purpose, methinks.
You
Ew.
shut apologist.
Chud apologist. I'm just trying to be as devil's advocate-y as I can be. I think I'm being fair.
Well, I mean, cynic makes a point, but Polly, she needed that facelift after all. That brow furring stretched out her forehead. Yeah, I mean, once you're in the throes of full TDS, your brow has become permanently downed into this angry thing.
TDS?
Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I thought it was like I don't know, some sort of actual thing. And then I realized, oh, yes, that's right. That's a common term now. Sad face. You know what? I will never forgive you for doing, Polly.
Spurning your advances?
Okay. What?
What?
Haha, you're funny. No. No. Every single time we have like a conversation about a celebrity at some point, not every single time, but often enough that it's become a trend, you'll point out that they've had work done.
Right.
And it'll ruin them for me in some way.
Really?
Or like I won't be able to unsee it. Because otherwise I wouldn't notice that. And now I'm starting to pick up on that kind of a thing. Because before I was like, you know what? They probably had work done. I am happy not knowing what they had work done on.
Mm-hmm.
Except for like the super obvious ones. But then you told me about what's his name? He was in Wolf of Wall Street. He was in Magic Mike. Matthew McConaughey. Then you told me about Matthew McConaughey and his hair plant job. And
Yeah.
I can't unsee this. What have you done?
Well,
Ruined
okay.
it. You're a
Matthew
ruiner.
McConaughey's hairline is fake news. But I mean, as the point that I made then, I don't even care that you went and got hair transplant surgery. I care that you had the nerve to think people were fucking stupid enough to believe your half-ass lie that I just took some pill and all of a sudden my hair grew out. Now I'm just this charming Southern gentleman who smokes a lot of weed with a six-pack. It's fine. I'm not losing my hair. It's just I took a pill. My doctor told me to do it. And wouldn't you know? It grew. Oh my God. And it's like, yeah, and every balding man on earth wouldn't be taking this pill you claim exists that just sprouts hair like a motherfucker. No, you went and got extremely expensive hair transplant surgery, not the bad plugs that Joe Biden has, fucking doll hair and shit. You got the one follicle at a time, hyper expensive surgery, and fine, man. You got the money for it. Your image is really important. Having a full head of hair is important because you do a lot of acting. Just say that. Say, yeah, man, I got transplant surgery. Oh, I went and took this pill. Shut up, McConaughey. Who the fuck believed that? You filth. Ugh. It just bugs me that he had to fucking lie like that.
Yeah, but that's not what bugs me. What bugs me is now I can't unsee that. And now I start noticing that with actors. And I didn't before. You've made me more aware, and I'm not okay with it.
Well, you know what?
Like beforehand, botched surgery to me was like Michael Jackson going from black to white, or Madonna looking like an absolute nightmare in some cases, or like, I don't know, Macaulay Culkin having a drug addiction. Like those were the differences that I absolutely could just not help but notice. But no, now I'm starting to notice like the little itsy bitsy tidbits of thingabobbers on people's faces that
Well,
are different.
it's actually only happened like the 3 times, 4, I guess. I mean, but they were just really just 2 occasions. They were, what's his name? Fuck. Chris Evans. Chris Evans and Matthew McConaughey both claimed that they never had hair transplant surgery. Why you lying? Why you fucking lying? You're always lying. That video's still funny. If you go back and watch it, it still holds up, man. It still kills me. Anyway. It's just why are you lying? And anyone can look at your insane male pattern baldness, Chris Evans, where your temples are receding all the way back to the crown of your head. And that's neither here nor there. It just is. I'm not even trying to judge you for that. And I'm not judging you even a little bit for getting hair transplant surgery. Neither him nor McConaughey. But fucking lying about it? Why? That's where the judgment comes in. We're like, man, just fuck off. Fuck off.
It's not just the Chris Evans and the Matthew McConaughey hair transplant. It's the nose jobs too that you point out sometimes. It's the eyebrows or the cheeks or whatever. It's the other little intricacy little tidbit thingies that people do to their faces that I'm starting to like notice because you point them out.
Well, I mean, okay,
I'm becoming aware. It's making me uncomfortable.
Assassin of the Grace says it could be dead if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, I guess like maybe it wouldn't bother other people and it just bothers me. I'm willing to accept that it's an irrational pet peeve on my part, not anyone else's. Yeah, whatever. I'm just speaking on it from my perspective that it's like, man, you're a fucking liar, man. That's some bullshit. Like the girl went from a B cup to Weebo and saying, no, man, I just had a growth spurt.
Or alternatively, she went from a B cup to being pregnant.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, somebody said it's like, no, I got pregnant. Yeah. Okay. Right. There's all a lot of sense being made here. But I took some magic pill that ain't nobody never done heard of. Like, fuck off. No, you didn't. And Of All Potato says, well, yeah, it comes from an albino rhino. It's the only overpaid actors can afford to have it. Yeah, maybe there's some secret laboratory. But I'll tell you something. There are plenty of fucking guys out there that would mortgage their fucking home 3 times over to get the pill. It doesn't matter how many albino rhinos they need to slaughter from the wild to get it. I mean, yes, absolutely. There was some way of solving that problem. There's guys. I mean, there guys who wear hair hats to make it look like they've got their original hair still.
Hair hats.
Toupees. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not. It's not actually part of your scalp, and it's on your head, and it's made of hair, so therefore a hair hat, like hair hatted hooligans. You know.
Yeah.
You don't watch Tell Me Sotomayor? No. No. Tommy is not a big fan of weaves on women. Calls them hair hats.
I don't get them either, quite honestly. 'Cause women can look good with short hair or long hair. It doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. That's just rock your natural hair. It doesn't look as good as you think it does. It just doesn't.
Unless you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You ever see someone like install weave or extensions into their hair?
Yes.
It's like a whole bunch of tiny little clips that you're just layering into your hair, and it looks uncomfortable. It looks annoying. It's too much effort.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
why they
happy to
call it
say
weave, because they're weaving it in.
exactly. I have never been the type of person to wear fake hair.
Yeah, but you've also got a big long mane of natural blonde hair. You don't really need to.
True.
You clip your hair to thin it out and make it more manageable. There's a bunch of girls that would want to claw your eyes out for having that problem.
Yes, I just have to like this little lock right here. It fell out of my big nice updo, so now I just gotta snip it so that it's not obnoxiously long in the front. How dare you clip that piece of hair? There are women that would kill for that kind of nonsense. Yeah, I get it. And then I'd probably do some unsavory things for some nice definition curls in my hair too. We all think the grass is greener, obviously, but like it's not about like looks. It's more so about like the effort that goes into applying this thing and then maintaining it, and the discomfort that comes with having to maintain it. So you ever see someone install like fake hair that isn't permanent in any capacity?
Yes.
Yeah. It's they have to basically chop off what's underneath in some cases and like make sure it's nice and tightly down when they put the wig on, and then they have to like hairspray the actual wig to your scalp, make sure it's glued on properly, and then maybe color it a little bit so that it looks somewhat similar to your skin color, cut off a little netting fabric, and then they can style the hair there. But like that's got to be hot, that's got to be sweaty, that's got to get nasty after a few days, and that's got to be high maintenance too. That's got to take hours to apply, to dry, and then to redo if you need to. That's obnoxious to me. I mean, it looks good at the end, but still, there's got to be a simpler way. There's got to be.
Here's one of my favorite pictures. It's
I'm sorry, Fat Platypus, man. You guys are making me want to schedule the doctor's appointment to fix my hairline. Don't you worry about it. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you too, Beyonce.
Is that the hair netting thing?
It's like it's glue.
Yeah.
To glue it, like the weave itself down and then pull it down over her head.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in the middle of a big singing moment, so her face is crunched up, which is causing the glue to, like if you put glue over your skin and then pushed it together, you're going to have that kind of effect, right? And that's what's going on there. That's how much glue she's actually got running along her hairline down to her ears to glue all of this on. Yes, that blonde straight hair is not hers. Shocker, I know. But
what?
Yeah.
You're telling me that Beyonce doesn't have naturally blonde, naturally straight, long, thick hair?
No, she buys fantastically expensive virgin Indian hair and plugs it into her head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I remember when I was we were doing the discussion because I said it happened in two places where I was talking about those guys' hairline, and then I was talking about the nose job that Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman had gotten that I didn't think they needed to get when we were doing the countdown to the hottest women in the MCU. Yeah, and that was my first exposure to Weeboisms in this way. Weebo will pay far less attention to anything that's going on in the photograph in terms of the point you're trying to make, and spend all of the time arguing you didn't find two identical pictures to compare them. And it's like, but if they were identical pictures, I couldn't show you any differences. The point is I'm trying to show you a difference. Yes, but they're not standing in the same way, wearing the same thing at the same time of day, using the same camera with the same lighting. Well, I
That was
did.
so
I don't
not my
have those
point.
available.
No.
I have the recorded evidence.
Yeah, I know you do. I can go back and look at it too. And what I had a contention with was the fact that you selected select instances that you used to judge women regarding like the weapons that they used. That was only for 3 of the women, whereas for the other women, you didn't even bother to. And then for another woman, you had a GIF of her eating like a cupcake. And that was what, I'm pretty sure that was what got her top spot in the MCU hottest women.
That was no woman. That was Laura motherfucking Harrier, all right? And no,
Yes,
her
eating a cupcake in a GIF, which obviously had some bearing on the matter.
no, if the idea is like, which one of these women took the sexiest picture I could find the sexiest GIF of, and then that's how I'm going to rank order them, then yeah, I guess. But that's not what was going on. What I did was made a list in MS Word and started reorganizing it, and then found the pictures to make my case for why that rank order had occurred. And it's like, Laura Harrier's really sexy. No, you know what I should do? I the woman who's at number 1, I should find the trashiest, no makeup, just woke up with a fucking hangover pictures of her. How the hell is that going to help make my fucking case?
I'd do that. I will do that. I will ruin Laura Harrier for you. Laura Harrier tabloid. I don't know.
Assassin the Graces, Queen Bee scalped Becky with the good hair for fooling with her man. Yeah, well, that Becky with the good hair line just speaks so many volumes, without getting into any of the out into the weeds with a hell of a lot of different details. It's like that hair, she doesn't think she has good hair, which is exactly why she brought it up amongst many other reasons. Of all potatoes, as of course he needs to glue his hair. Beyonce's a dude. Jesus.
I don't want to give you the satisfaction of saying this, but I'm having a bitchin' of a time finding a shitty candid shot of Laura Harrier.
Yeah, I mean, number 1 nowhere is one is expected to provide evidence to make their point. It's up to any opposition to debunk. But she wasn't debunking my case as to whether or not these women were attractive. She was debunking selection criteria of evidence. And it's like, really?
Well, yeah, of course. You used the weapons that certain women were or weren't using to enhance or de-enhance their position on the list.
I like guns. What don't you know about this? I just decided to just like throw it in as a fun little extra. At no point did I say this is the basis upon which I'm making my decision, what gun their fictional character carried in the film. I just threw it in there. And I noticed that you didn't have any problem with me saying Peggy Carter's awesome for carrying a Walther PPK. Because you agreed with me that she was hot. So it's like, hey.
Well, I thought she should have been higher on the list to begin with, regardless of the gun choice that she had.
Yeah, I mean, going back over the list, I would have placed her higher as well.
But I had already made my point about the gun before you brought up Peggy Carter's gun. Otherwise, I would just be repetitious. And I'm not repetitious. Unless I have to make a point. Capiche?
Here.
Never underestimate womantism. Says Jelly Rogers Bilgewater. Yeah.
Now here's exactly the kind of picture that Weebo's going to miss the point on and focus on other things instead, but whatever. Me and you can have fun with it, chat. Weebo will just, Damn, huh?
I like the after picture.
Well, where did she buy her chin from?
I don't know. But the lipstick certainly doesn't help the look. Neither does the lighting, though. And let's see. Oh, yeah, and look at that nose. God damn it, Polly, this is your influence.
Yeah, well, that's the point. She really got that nose done. There's no question.
Who is this?
It's Ivanka Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is what billions of dollars can do for you.
Billions of dollars. If you're insinuating that our first lady needed billions of dollars to look as
No.
pretty she is.
First daughter.
Oh, sorry. Not first lady. First daughter. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. But we've been making fun of the Whammons a lot here. Let's
make fun of the men.
Let's make fun of the men who make spectacularly bad hair choices. Am I right? This is a spectacularly bad hair choice.
What's up with the square?
This is his hairline up here, and he's decided to get a Sharpie and do this, not realizing that the bright lights from above would reveal that he Sharpied his fucking forehead.
Boy.
You poor bastard. Like, there's a lot of sympathy that comes out for this. Like, oh, dude, no, what are you doing, man? Oh, no.
Are you sure it was Sharpie and he didn't just have his hair tattooed back onto his head? Because I hear people do that.
It could be tattoo work, but I'm just you're being a little pedantic. The point is, it's coloring of one form or another.
Yes. I am pedantic. That is me. Hi, welcome to Cocktail Hour. It's good to have you. The first time ever, Polly.
Speaking of getting a little too handy with the Sharpie, what is you doing, bro?
What in the world?
He's balding, so he.
Those are some angular haircuts.
It's not a haircut. He colored that in.
It's a haircut because we say it is Polly. Just go with it.
And then just in case anybody thinks that it might not get worse. Oh, it does. What are you doing with your life, Jermaine Jackson?
Oh. He looks like he's wearing a beanie. But with the front cut out. Oh, God.
Like you're a Jackson. You have more money than this.
He looks okay. He looks like one of those superheroes in a comic book who's got the weird, like, face mask thingy or something. I don't know. The really obtuse looking costumes or whatever that have no real reason for looking the way that they do, but they just do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like an idea of what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to.
You can imagine. Think of the most obnoxious looking superhero in their costume you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Like mask wise. That's what this is. Basically.
I see what you're saying. I think that this was unnecessary. I don't think that he needed to do that.
Oh, you think? You think it was unnecessary? Polly.
He looks like a black.
What gave you that impression?
Yeah.
I can't. Some things you just can't unsee. You know?
I hear you.
Hey, Polly, guess what?
About that time?
It's about that time.
Cool.
I am feeling sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slowing down in my productive commentary. I'm getting less interesting. I can feel it. I just feel it fading from me.
Fair enough.
Mostly because I've spent most of my day being like on in terms of socializing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm less capable of doing it for longer, I think. And also I have a little bit of work to do before it is that I retire for the evening. It involves figuring out why my freaking video won't upload to the YouTube sphere. because I had intended to have it available to my audience, their memberships, and on Patreon today, so they could watch it ahead of time. But no, I guess it's not going to work out that way.
And you're absolutely
Oopsie
set
daisies.
against handbrake compression, right?
Handbrake compression.
Compressing your videos in handbrake before uploading them.
I mean, I could, but that's not the issue here. For whatever reason, it's just not uploading. Like, the upload aborted before it would finish. I think it has to do with something's wrong with my browser.
How big's the file?
Well,
I myself had that problem multiple times. I'm not saying that this is the issue, just merely suggesting that it might be. Larger video files the upload would crash on me multiple times as well.
2.65 gigabytes.
That is a huge file to be uploading. Huge.
Yeah.
And I remember when I mentioned to you before, you said, the possible degrade and downgrade and introduction of artifacts and stuff. You're not wrong. It's a justifiable concern, but you can do a pretty low grade compression that'll make a surprising amount of difference in terms of file size, meaning it's not actually compressing it that much, but something to think about anyway.
Yeah. I'll see maybe if that works. If all else fails, I'll just have to opt for that anyway, but I'd really rather not, because you do lose quality in the video, frames and audio and whatnot, just little micro aspects of the file that I don't want to. I want it to be of, like, every time you transfer something, every time you compress it, every time you upload it or download it or whatever, it loses the original quality of whatever it is that you do. Audience, I don't know if you know that, but that's the case. Unfortunately, that's the way that the cookie crumbles. And so I'd like to minimize that as much as possible before it finally makes it to wherever it is that it needs to end up.
I absolutely hear you. That's why I tend to keep my content so low quality that I just don't care, because what difference is it going to make?
All right, fair. Anyway, so guys, we are at that time. Sorry, no question time this evening. We spent the last of it harping on people and their bad life decisions regarding their looks. So I hope that was entertaining enough for you.
What did I say at the beginning of the stream about not gossiping?
It's not gossiping. We're just judging people harshly for things.
It's pointing and laughing, I don't think, is gossiping, if you know what I mean.
Mm-mm.
Keep the Sharpie away from your head, man.
Yeah, just life advice. Solid life advice. All right, that's all I'm gonna leave it at. Anyway, thank you so much, chat, for joining us on our lovely journey. There we go. Thank you to those who liked, commented, shared, subscribed. Thank you to those who also happen to donate to the stream. You guys make this show happen. Not just the people who donate, but the people who watch and the people who interact in any capacity. Y'all are the reason we do this. Y'all are the people that make this shenanigans happen. So thank you very kindly for that. And Polly, thank you so much for being here so that I have someone to talk to, because otherwise it would just be me and the audience. As much as I love the audience, it's really hard to talk to yourself. Polly, do you have anything to shill?
Just my channel. I mean, the link's in the description. If you guys need it, there is the link in chat. All sorts of fun stuff going on my channel: comic book curation, noir bar, occasional shit posts. That's what I call my regular videos. I got a whole bunch of them that I'm working on right now, and I should really just stop and focus on one instead of doing 5 or 10% of another one and then another one and another one and jump in between them. But anyway, I do have a whole bunch of videos in the works. It's not like I'm not doing stuff. So yeah, you can go check out my channel over there. And thank you very much to everybody who donated. It's sincerely appreciated. And Evil One and Evolve Potato, I think. Yeah, Evolve Potato. We're talking about the Noir Bar merch. It is underway. It's really there's two things going on there. One, I haven't set up a storefront yet, which I got to get on and do. Just never done it before, so I have no idea what's involved. People tell me it's really straightforward, but there you go. And then far keeps undermining my confidence with the graphic choices that I'm making in terms of what the t-shirts are going to look like, which is pretty unfortunate because, I'm not as talented of an artist as she, but that doesn't mean she needs to rip apart everything I do in the cold-hearted way she does. It's undermining and destroys one's confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I guess in terms of shilling for me, I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's the first ever episode of Thought Patrol, so I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be back here next Sunday, same time, same place, same Actually, you know what? I graduate next Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure that I will be here next Sunday. I gotta figure out what time it is that I'll be home, and then I will know exactly.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to be here, even if we have to schedule for a little bit later, because who doesn't want to have a cocktail hour with Weebo in a cap and gown? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right.
Exactly. Yeah, well, it's going to be a virtual graduation. I don't actually know if I'm going to get my cap and gown before then.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I still have both my caps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of, the unified fees that they make you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cap comes as part of it, right? And they're like, here's your cap. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And my mom's like, no, you're going to keep that. I'm like, it's a stupid cap. You're going to want it as a memory. You may not want it now, but you'll be happy you kept it when you're older. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
We might have to push the stream back just a little bit, though. So I will have an update for you about that within the week. But yeah, same place, same otter, same me. God, my outro is not the same without my ability to rhyme. Oh, I don't like it. Anyway. Yeah, I know. Polly will tease me if we're too late. I'll try. I will try. But, it's college graduation. You only do it, once? Unless you're Polly, in which case you do it a few more times than that.
It's not just me. Don't single me out. But yeah, thank you, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for the donations once again. It actually is sincerely appreciated. Unlike Invader V, we actually appreciate audience members and don't just think of them as fucking pay piggies. God, that was angering to see it over again, Weeps. Just a little clip from your teaser trailer. It was like, oh, fuck this woman.
Sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
Well, no, it's not your fault. It's hers. It's just, god damn. Yeah. Anyway.
I know, but I subjected you to it. So, yeah. All right. Good night, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good one.